Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to talk about my 5 absolute favorite lures to use in the pre-spawn leading up to the spawn. This time period will differ widely depending on your location, like how Florida fish are probably already spawning, and how, say, Minnesota is completely frozen over. Around West Virginia, this period will start around the beginning of March and into late April, and after will be considered post-spawn. This list will be kind of chronological order, the first bait being better for early pre-spawn, and the last being better for during the spawn, like sight fishing females on the beds. Although all the baits will work really well at all times given the right conditions. With that being said, the first bait is a bass jig, the tried and true. In all honesty, this bait works good and okay every day of the year, but it really helps in the pre-spawn into the spawn because the fish will utilize shallow cover like docks, wood, chunk rock like riprap, grass if your lake has it, and will also travel along points and creek channels. This bait is very versatile and it is weedless, which makes it the all-terrain vehicle of the fishing world. You can skip it under docks, swim it around grass, bounce it along the rocks, and even fish out deep along bottom contours for those early ones. As far as colors go, I like 4 colors for bottom baits in general, and I like to keep it pretty simple with all the options available. I like watermelon red with some red flake. I like brown or like green pumpkin. I like purple, such as like June bug, and I like solid black. You can also add whatever trailer you like to your jig. My favorite is the double tail grub. Uh, that is supposed to match the color for your jig. This one has it's brown, it has purple flake, and this one has a little bit of brown. It's some like brownish purple. I think it's a really good profile. Uh, Another great option for a trailer that's overlooked quite often is a Senko stick bait. I think that use that when they won't hit the double tail grub, and it's a little more subtle profile, but it also can be attention grabbing because of that little chartreuse bit at the end. This next bait can also be used as a trailer for a jig, but most of the time it's used separately, such as this. And so you already know where I'm going with this. Uh, the second bait is the soft plastic swim bait. Uh, where is it? I was trying to read my thing. And its variations. These are arguably one, if not the best baits to fish around the world because I can attest to success. You can fish it saltwater, you can fish freshwater for any species because anything will hit a minnow. Uh, they can be rigged in many different ways. The most common being the little jig head. The jig head is my personal favorite because it has an exposed hook. So whatever the fish bites, they're already skin hooked like this. Whenever they bite it like that, and so whenever you set the hook, it makes the hook up ratio really good. They have different sizes. Like this is a 5-inch model, which I use for largemouth, and they have this teeny little guy, this 3-incher that I use for smallmouth and spotted bass. They can be rigged on a weedless hook, so you can fish it around heavier cover. And where did I put it? Oh, here we go. You can even add some flash, like on a blade, when the water is a bit murkier, but they're still not hitting everything. A great variation of this lure is the Alabama rig. It is which utilizes many swim baits to form a school of bait fish. As colors go, I like to keep it natural with swim baits, like this shad color here, or this here bluegill color. This next bait is for the entirety of pre-spawn. It is my personal favorite lure because you can use it anywhere. In my opinion, it's just really good bait. It is the lipless crankbait. I meant to grab one there, but they're all stuck together. There you go. These have quite a lot of different brands, but my personal favorite is the Bill Lewis rattle trap. You can be fished basically everywhere. They catch a lot of fish, in my opinion. They can catch not just bass, but other species. I caught walleye on this lure. I caught white bass. Everything under the sun that will hit a bait fish will hit this lure. My favorite retrieve for this bait, they have quite a different retrieves to it. I like to chuck it out as far as I can, let it hit the bottom, and then after that, just slow. Well, it's not really like a slow roll because you still have to keep it off the bottom, but it's like a medium pace retrieve, like you would a normal crankbait. This presentation is good for fish that are on the bottom and fish that are suspended a little bit off the bottom, because it suspends off the bottom, and because of that noise, it'll even get fish off the bottom to hit it. My personal favorite color is chrome, because the fish can't really see it the profile all that well. All they see is the flash. But some honorable mentions. I like red in the pre-spawn, which is, by the way, the only time I throw red is in the pre-spawn because of all the crawdads and the murkier water. And a good bright shad color. This one's being a 3/4 ounce red-eye shad. Going along with bait fish, this next category of baits are some of the only baits you can throw when the water's muddy, because the fish have a hard time seeing anything, so you have to make them feel the bait. This would be a spinner bait, and if I can get it, a chatterbait. These are both really these are both really good around this time of year, because fish are pushed up shallow, and allows the fish to feel the bait before they see it. I like to use the spinner bait when the fish are going to be more finicky and you need a more subtle approach. Although bright colors are good for when the water's chocolate milk, absolutely atrocious, and they can still feel it. And I like to use a chatterbait when the fish are more aggressive and more willing to eat a slightly longer, like bigger profile. Just because I use these baits when it's muddy doesn't mean I discriminate. These baits are also good when the water's a bit clear, like this more natural spinner bait and this more natural chatterbait. The chatterbait and the spinner bait for clear water is when the fish are really aggressive and they're biting real good, and so you just chuck and wind until you get a fish. Those are always really fun, Just because these bait. Wait, sorry, let me phrase that. My last resort, when it comes to bait, like fishing, it's when the water's really muddy. Or not really muddy, sorry. It's when the water's pretty clear and the fish can see bait a long way away. I like to use a shaky head. Now, that might not be his first choice for a pre-spawn bait, but I don't exclusively use what normal people use on a shaky head, which is a trick worm. I'm not saying I don't use it. It's a great lure. I use it all the time. And I'll show you a couple colors of that. He has some June bug, watermelon, brown. But I can also use a Senko on the shaky head if I'm trying to skip it under docks because of that weedless profile, and I wanted to get at the bottom pretty quickly on the beds underneath the dock. That will work really well. And I haven't tried it out yet, but I have a really good feeling about it. This 8-inch curly tail worm dragging along some rocks on the bottom. I feel like that'll be extremely good in the pre-spawn, or especially around some longer points. And because, once again, the color scheme, I like some brown with a little accent. I like watermelon, which is like a dark green, and like June bug. And I don't have any black, but I'll get some black. Honorable mentions are a jerkbait, but I don't really have. Here, I'll see if I can pull one out real quick. I don't have a lot of experience on a jerkbait to know if it's supposed to be really good or not. But I've heard from multiple different sources that it's supposed to be really good. I'll try it out this year and get back to you on how it is. Thank you for watching the video. I hope it was informative and good for you. I hope it was, overall quality was alright. If you have any questions, comments, comment below. Like and subscribe the video if you want. I don't really care if you don't. See you later.